So in the last video, we were able to set up the contact poses. We've got a contact pose when the heel actually contacts the ground here on frame 1, and we've also got another contact pose here on frame 7. The next thing I like to do is to work on the passing pose, and that usually happens right around frame 4, let's say. And the passing pose is just when, well, the feet pass each other. So we begin here on frame 1 with the left foot closest to us. So we need to keep an eye on that foot as we move from frame 1 to frame 4. Here it is. Now we need to bring this foot down to be pushing off the ground. So it's just the toe on the ground pushing off, and the other leg passing by on its way to the other contact pose. So okay, so let's take this foot here, the foot IK left, and I'll just move it down a bit. And I think what I'll do is clear the rotation here, so I'll press Alt-R, and that will clear the rotation and put it back parallel to the ground. Let's also take it down to the ground so we know it's flat on the ground. I'm going to press Alt-G, and that will clear the location. And now I can rotate it back up onto the toe and move it straight back like that in the y-axis. And something like, maybe get them pushing off like that. Yeah, something like that. And now this foot doesn't look too bad, actually. I might rotate it down just a hair like that, and maybe even push it forward just a bit. There we go. All right, so let's see how this works. We've got our contact pose, and then we've got our passing pose, and then back to our contact pose here again. We now need our passing pose at frame 10. So what I'll do is I'll hit the A key and select all of the controls here on the character on frame 4. And let me just scroll over here, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this pose. So I'll hit this button right here. I'll move the frame up to frame 10, and now let's paste this and flip it with this button here. Let's see if it works. Click that, and there we go. So now we've got our passing poses at frame 4 and frame 10, and we've got our contact at 1 and 7. So let's hit play and see what happens. Getting there. Now so far all we've dealt with is just the legs. We really haven't moved that center of gravity control, this one here, that torso control, up or down. But now let's start working on, well, the down position and the up position. So now that I have this selected, it looks like I've got keyframes at 7, 10. I don't have one for 4 here. I'm going to go ahead and insert a keyframe for 4, just so it's there. I'm going to hit I, and I'll insert a keyframe for location. There we go, just so I have one at each of those main poses so far. And now the down position, we can think of that as being around frame 2. And the down position is when the foot falls flat to the ground. So you've got it here with the contact, and now it's going to fall flat to the ground, like the toe slaps the ground. The weight of the character is going to come down onto that leg, which means the head is going to come down a bit as well. So far now, we've had on the contact and the passing poses, the head and the hips or the torso have been in the exact same place. For the down position, they're going to go down, and for the up position, they'll of course go up. So let's take this foot first of all, and let's press Alt-R to clear the rotation. I'll clear the rotation here as well, Alt-R. So now he's right down on the ground. I'll go ahead and press Alt-G just to make sure, and I'll slide this back forward some like this. So now his foot is right planted flat on the ground, and I'm going to take this torso control and just move it straight down. Now the arms are going to kind of stay where they are because of the IK controls, and that's okay for now. We'll deal with the arms a little bit later. I kind of like to deal with one thing at a time. And this guy right here, let me make sure we've got this cleared with Alt-R. That's good. And this guy I'm going to rotate back a bit like this. And maybe swing it back a little bit more like that. There we go. So now it should come down and back up a bit. So he should come down and hit that ground like that. Now this foot has come out too much. I'm just going to raise that back up just a bit like this. There we go. So now you can see his foot goes from the heel and slaps the ground as the weight of the character comes down onto that leg. I may even want to bring him down just a hair more like that. All right, so he goes into the down position, back up to the passing, to the contact again. We've got the passing and the contact. So now what we could do is do the opposite of the down on frame 8 here. Why don't we do that? So let's go ahead and select everything, copy it with this button here, move to frame 8, and paste it like so. Let's see how that works. All right. Deselect everything with the A key, and now I'm going to go forward. There's that down position, passing, contact. There's the new down position, passing, and contact. Okay, so you can see the keyframes here. So what's cool is so far we really only have 3 poses. We've got the contact pose, the passing pose, and the down. And we've been able to copy and paste the opposite of each one of those to make our lives a little easier. The next thing we should do is the up position, which is going to be just past the passing pose. So here we are at frame 5. And the up position is going to find this front leg kind of almost straight and the toe just barely touching the ground and the torso up. So we need to push that torso up a bit. But first of all, what I'm going to do is take this and hit Alt-R and get rid of the rotations for these things. Alt-R here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and press Alt-G just to put it right back to the center. And then I'm going to drag this back and raise this up like that. And I'm going to move that torso straight up. I better grab those hands as well so we don't break the elbows as we drag them up. So I'll now drag that up. And now I'll take this back just all the way. I don't want to break the leg like that. I just want to get it so it's really close to being straight. You don't want to bend anything backwards like that. So just so it's almost straight. And this guy, let me make sure the rotation's cleared on that. And I'm going to move him up, pretty far out like this. And maybe rotate it up just a bit like that. Let me see if I can move this back just a little bit. Maybe I'll bring him down a hair. Just so we don't break that leg. There we go. All right, so that is our up position. Let's see how that looks. So he goes down. All right, so here's the contact, the down position, the passing pose, the up position. I don't like this foot. What did I do here? Let me rotate this back down. Yeah, I don't like that being up so far or turned up like that. All right, so now there's your contact, your down, your passing, and your contact. Okay, so let's now take this frame 5 and let's copy it and paste the opposite of it over at frame 11. All right, so I'll select everything with the A key, copy everything, move us over to frame 11, and paste. There we go. All right, So let's see how this works. I'm going to go ahead and save. Go back to the beginning and hit play. We're getting there. There's some floppiness here at the end with the feet. We'll need to work on that. But that's a good beginning. We've got the sense that he's going up and down, that there's weight to the character. Yeah, I think that's going to work. All right. So in the next video, what we'll do is we'll begin cleaning this up a bit. We'll begin working on the arms and see if we can finish up our run cycle. So see you then.